And just to relate to what we talked about in our last video, you should know that there are 3 levels of a grammar. The first level has to do, it's called substantial level. It has to do with words and phrases. This is the first level of a grammar. The second level is known as sentential level, and of course it has to do with the sentence. And the third level of a grammar is known as presentential, that is above the sentence. In other words, the level of a grammar that has to do with text and context. Now, according to these levels, we will introduce the basic elements of a grammar, starting with the parts of a speech. Parts of a speech have to do with the substantial level of grammar. Basically, they have to do with words. Now, words or parts of a speech could be classified according to different criteria. Words can be classified according to meaning, that is semantically, and they could be classified structurally, and they could be classified according to their function. Okay, so words can be classified semantically, that is according to meaning, or structurally, that is according to their morphology, and functionally, it could be classified functionally, that is according to their function, the function that the words perform in a sentence. Let's start with the first criterion. Okay, classifying words semantically. Semantically, a noun is the name of a person, place, or a thing. For example, computer, bag, or Ahmed, Ali, Anne. However, classifying words semantically is not enough. Meaning, there are problematic words. Look at the word blue. Now, blue could be considered as an adjective, since it describes, or since it is a descriptive word. Blue is an adjective, could be seen as an adjective since it is a descriptive word, right? Blue car, blue house, blue shirt. Also, blue could be a noun since it is a name of color, right? Therefore, meaning-based classification is not enough, and actually it is not even recommended. Instead, words are classified through their structural or formal characteristics. In other words, parts of a speech could be classified according to their position in a sentence, or according to adjacent function words, or according to their constituents. And if we were to adopt this, then we will move on to second type of a classification, that is classifying words according to structure. So again, keep in mind, if we were to classify words, if we were to classify parts of a speech according to their structure, then probably we're looking at their position in a sentence, 1. 2, we're looking at adjacent function words, if there are any, of course, and we are looking at their constituents. Let's give you an example. Let's start with the first example. The is an article, meaning the is a function word, followed by a blank. Now, we know that definite and indefinite articles, these are function words, always precede nouns. So therefore, what should follow is a noun. and we could say the book was very amusing. Okay? And according to this criteria, since we have a function word, then we can decide that book is a noun. Also, look at the second example. Did you notice there and dash? Did you notice their book, or did you notice their car? Again, there is a function word. Mostly it precedes noun, therefore what follows is a noun. Also, the word book, this is according to the function word, and according to the function words that it precedes or that accompany, that are adjacent to the nouns that we used in these two examples. Also, we can classify words structurally according to their constituents. Again, if you were to think about the word book, we know that we can judge that book is a noun, because book can be pluralized. So therefore, if we see books, then we know that this is the S is a plural S. It's a morpheme that indicates a plurality. Also, there are other morphemes that indicates whether that word is a noun or an adjective or a verb. Okay, so this is according to their constituents. Nonetheless, relying on structural criteria for classifying words can create problems. In the case of nouns, for example, not all nouns have distinctive noun-like morphemes. There is another problem. Many of the words without distinctive morphology appear to belong to more than one part of speech, such as fly, which could be considered as a noun and as a verb. Or, for example, the word orange, which could be considered as a noun and as an adjective. Accordingly, according to these problems, again, classifying words according to structure is not adequate, is not sufficient. Now, what do we need to do? Well, it would be better if we were to classify words according to their function. Now, back to nouns. How do we classify a noun according to its function, or how can we know that that word or this word is a noun according to the function that it performs in the sentence? Well, look at the definition. A noun, according to function, a noun is a part of a speech that can serve as a subject of a verb in a sentence. Look at the example. The glass is dirty. Now, how do we determine whether glass is a noun or a different part of a speech? Well, since it is the subject of the sentence, then it is a noun. However, still, if we were to adopt classifying words according to function, we still could have problems. Look at the example. The glass jar is dirty. Now, the glass jar, now which word is a noun? The glass and jar, both of them are nouns or not. And when we classify words according to their function, we could still have certain problems, as in the example, the glass jar is dirty. Glass here is not a noun. It modifies jar, therefore it's a modifier. And accordingly, a glass in this example is an adjective. A glass behaves in this sentence, and glass behaves as an adjective without changing its form. We can conclude that all of the three criteria are not complete by themselves. Okay, that is the criteria, the three classifications, that is classifying words according to meaning, or classifying words according to structure, or classifying words according to function. These are not complete. Now the question is, what should we do? How can we classify parts of speech? Well, it would be better to classify words by cluster of criteria. To clarify, we can classify words according to meaning and their form and position, and also according to their grammatical function.